Welcome to another video production from Slater Dozier Railroad Media. This video contains a lot of trains, 19 to be exact, that I filmed in Spartanburg, South Carolina on May 12, 2023. We begin this video with a traffic jam of sorts at Control Point Fry Creek. I originally began my morning in Welford, South Carolina, only to find that both Amtrak trains were late, and that Amtrak 20 was stopped on Main 2 at Fry Creek. This prompted me to move to Fry Creek, but I would miss NS 297 in the process. I would find NS 153 with a pair of EMDs leading stopped on Main 2 at Fry Creek. Amtrak 19 would then creep around the curve and knock down the Fry Creek southbound signal before getting permission from the dispatcher to reverse onto Main 2 to allow Amtrak 20 to diverge onto Main 1 so they could make their station stop in Spartanburg. After getting a signal from the dispatcher, Amtrak 20 would continue their journey north.
You guys look good by us, markers burning, hose hanging up. Alright, Dave, y'all be careful getting home. Alright.
I would move to Control Point Lyman to find NS 297 tied down at the signal, but I will be caught flat-footed by NS 153, which would pass 297 on Main 2. Something else I wanted to mark off my bucket list was NS P83 passing the old Southern signal at Control Point Sigsbee on the ANS portion of the W line that originally went to Asheville, North Carolina over Saluda Grade. I would unfortunately miss P83 at Sigsbee by minutes, but the RS5T horn on NS 6073 would be a nice consolation prize. I would then make my way over to the Spartanburg depot to check the ATCS monitors provided by the Hub City Railroad Museum. I would arrive at the crossing just in time to catch NS 283 powered by a pair of BNSF GEVOs. Once 283 passed, I would investigate the ATCS monitor and notice that there was a northbound train heading towards Spartanburg. While I was getting into position for this northbound, I would get some footage of the power of CSX M693 making some pickups on the CSX Belton sub. Soon after M693 reversed, NS 154 would round the curve and pass the Brawley Street intermediate signals with an SD70 ACE leader. The rear DPU would be C44ACM rebuild UP7054. I would then move to Arcadia, which is directly south of Norfolk Southern's Hayne Yard. Local NSP-78 would roll north on track 2 with SD40-3 rebuild NS6408 leading GP60 NS7118. I would park back at the Hub City Railroad Museum and walk over to the Church Street Bridge to wait on NS 243. They would roll through Control Point Beaumont off the W line from Columbia, South Carolina with a pair of UPGEs, the leader being C44ACM rebuild UP7319 bearing a K3HL horn. I would stay at the museum for the remainder of the afternoon since there wasn't much moving on CSX. Train number 11 would be NS-24X, a high-priority intermodal train bound for Croxton, New Jersey that is known for hauling UPS traffic. Right behind NS-24X would be high-priority intermodal train NS-28R bound for Rutherford, Pennsylvania. While this train is known for having a 2x2 lash-up, 28R would have all 4 engines on the head end of the train. After a lull in traffic, things would begin to heat up with NS-27A, which is 28R's counterpart bound for Atlanta, Georgia. 27A would have a very good set of power, with the head-end power being a pair of NS SD70 ACCs leading a UP SD70AH T4. The mid DPUs would be NS7522 and AC4400CW KCS 4620. This would be my first catch-up KCS power since the CP-KC merger. Minutes later, Geometry Train NS905 would roll by the museum with older Dash 9 NS9666 leading the Geometry unit and former Delaware Lackawanna and Western passenger car Belford. Geometry trains like this one are used to measure the geometry of the rails to aid maintenance of way crews in addressing rail defects and performing preventative maintenance. After 9:05 passed, the horn of NS-18D could be heard in the distance. 18D had NS-8102, the Pennsylvania Heritage Unit, leading NS-4454 on this autorack train bound for Charleston, South Carolina. I would catch 27A, 905, and 18D all in a span of 21 minutes. NS-242 would be 30 minutes behind NS-18D. They would stop at Control Point Beaumont to allow NS-18D to get further down the track so 242 could get a track warrant to head south. After another traffic lull later that afternoon, I would catch local NSP-42 going north and south. This train originates out of Hain Yard and turns back south at Cowpen, South Carolina. On the way south, P-42 works the CSX interchange yard and then heads back to Hain. I would end the day where I began at Control Point Fry Creek, where I would wait on NS-296 as the sun set behind the clouds.